President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, addresses the nation. Mr. President.
Fellow Nigerians, today marks the 65th anniversary of our great nation's independence. As we reflect on the significance of this day and our journey of nationhood since October 1960, when our founding fathers accepted the instrument of self-government from colonial rule, let us remember that their sacrifice, devotion, and grand dream of a strong, prosperous, and united Nigeria that will lead Africa and be the beacon of light to the rest of the world. Our founding heroes and heroines, Herbert Macaulay, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Margaret Ekpo, Anthony Enahoro, Ladoke Akintola, Michael Okpara, Aminu Kano, Funmilayo Ransom Kuti, and other nationalists believe it was Nigeria's manifest destiny to lead the entire black race as the largest black nation on earth. For decades, the promise of our independence has been tested by profound social, economic, and political challenges, and we have survived. While we may not have achieved all the lofty dreams of our forebearers, we have not strayed too far from them. In 65 years since our independence, we have made tremendous progress in economic growth, social cohesion, and physical development. Our economy has experienced significant growth since 1960. Although it is much easier for those whose vocation is to focus solely on what ought to be, we must recognize and celebrate our significant progress. Nigerians today have access to better education and healthcare than in 1960. At independence, Nigeria had 120 secondary schools with a student population of about 130,000. Available data indicate that as of year 2024, there were more than 23,000 secondary schools in our country. At independence, We had only the University of Ibadan and Yaba College of Technology as the two tertiary institutions in Nigeria. By the end of last year, there were 274 universities, 183 polytechnics, and 236 colleges of education in Nigeria, comprising federal, state, and private institutions. We have experienced a significant surge in growth across every sector of our national life since independence. In healthcare, infrastructure, financial services, manufacturing, telecommunications, information, technology, aviation and defense, among others. Our country has experienced both the good and the bad times in its 65 years of nationhood. As is normal for every nation and it is people, we fought a bitter and unavoidable civil war, experienced military dictatorships, and lived through major political crises. In all this, we weathered every storm and overcame every challenge with courage, grit, and uncommon determination. While our system and ties that bind us are sometimes stretched by insidious forces opposed to our values and ways of life, we continue to strive to build a more perfect union where every Nigerian can find better accommodation and find purpose and fulfillment. Fellow compatriots, this is the third time I will address you on our independence anniversary since I assumed office as your president on May 29, 2023. In the last 28 months of my administration, like our founding fathers and leaders who came before me, I have committed myself irrevocably to the unfinished nation-building business. Upon assuming office, our administration inherited a near-collapse economy caused by decades of fiscal policy distortions and misalignment that had impaired real growth. As a new administration, we face a simple choice: continue business as usual and watch our nation drift, or embark on a courageous fundamental reform path. We chose the path of reform. We chose the path of tomorrow over the comfort of today. Less than 3 years later, the seeds of those difficult but necessary decisions are bearing fruits. In resetting our country for sustainable growth, we ended the corrupt fuel subsidy and multiple foreign exchange rates that created massive incentive for a rentier economy, benefiting only a tiny minority. At the same time, the masses received little or nothing from our commonwealth. Our administration has redirected the economy towards a more inclusive path, channeling money to fund education, healthcare, national security, agriculture, and political economic infrastructure, such as roads, power, broadband, and social investment programs. These initiatives will generally improve Nigerians' quality of life. As a result of the tough decisions we made, the federal and state government, including local government, now have more money to take care of the people at the lower level of the ladder, to address our development challenges. Fellow Nigerians, we are racing against time. We must build the road we need, repair the ones that have become descriptive, and construct the schools our children will attend, and the hospitals that will care for our people. We have to plan for the generations that will come after us. We do not have enough electricity to power our industries and homes today, or the resources to repair our deteriorating roads, building seaports, railroads, and international airports comparable to the best in the world, because we failed to make the necessary investment decades ago. Our administration is setting things right now. I'm pleased to report that we have finally turned the corner. The worst is over, I say. Yesterday's pains are giving way to relief. I salute your endurance, support, and understanding. I will continue to work for you and justify the confidence you repose in me to steer the ship of our nation to a safer harbor. Under our leadership, our economy is recovering fast, and the reforms we started over 2 years ago are delivering tangible results. The second quarter 2025 gross domestic product grew by 4.23%. That's Nigeria's fastest pace in 4 years, and outpaced the 3.4% projected by the International Monetary Fund. Inflation declined to 20.12% in August 2025, the lowest level in 3 years. The administration is working diligently to boost agricultural production and ensure food security to reducing food costs. In the last 2 years of our administration, we've achieved 12 remarkable economic milestones as a result of the implementation of our sound fiscal and monetary policies. We have attained a record-breaking increase in non-oil revenue, achieving 2025 target by August with over 20 trillion naira. In September 2025 alone, we raised 3.65 trillion. That is 411% higher than the amount raised in May year 2023. We have restored physical health. Our debt service to revenue ratio has been significantly reduced from 97% to below 50%. We have paid down the infamous ways and means advances that threaten our economic stability and triggered inflation. Following the removal of the corrupt petroleum subsidy, we have freed up trillions of naira for targeted investment in the real economy and social programs for the most vulnerable, as well as all tiers of government. We have a stronger foreign reserve position today than 3 years ago. Our external reserves increased to 42.03 billion this September, the highest since 2019. Our tax to GDP ratio has risen to 13.5% from less than 10%. The ratio is expected to increase further when new tax law takes effect in January. The tax law is not about increasing the burden on existing taxpayers, but about expanding the base to build the Nigeria we deserve and providing tax relief to low-income earners. We are now a net exporter. Nigeria has recorded a trade surplus for 5 consecutive quarters. We are now selling more to the world than we are buying, a fundamental shift that strengthens our currency and creates jobs at home. Nigeria's trade surplus increased by 44.3% in the second quarter of year 2025 to 7.46 trillion. That is $4.74 billion, the largest in about 3 years. Goods manufactured in Nigeria and exported jumped by 173%. Non-oil export as a component of our export trade now represent 48% compared to oil exports, which account for 52%. This signals that we are diversifying our economy and foreign exchange sources outside oil and gas. Our oil production rebounded to 1.68 million barrels per day from barely 1 million in May 2023. The increase occurred due to improved security, new investments, and better stakeholder management in Niger Delta. Furthermore, the country has made notable advances by refining PMS domestically for the first time in 4 decades. It has also established itself as the continent's leading exporter of aviation fuel. The Naira has stabilized from the turbulence and volatility witnessed in 2023 and 2024. The gap between the official rate and the unofficial market has reduced substantially following FX reforms and fresh capital and remittance inflows. The multiple exchange rates, which fostered corruption and arbitrage, are now part of history. Additionally, our currency rate against the dollar is no longer determined by the fluctuation in crude oil prices. Under the Social Investment Program, to support poor households and vulnerable Nigerians, 330 billion has been disbursed to 8 million households, many of whom have received either 1 or 2 out of 3 tranches of the 25,000 naira each. Coal mining recovered dramatically from a 22% decline in quarter 1 to 57.5% growth in second quarter of 2025, becoming one of the Nigeria's fastest growing sectors. The solid mineral sector is now pivotal in our economy, encouraging value-added production of minerals extracted from our soil. The administration is expanding transport infrastructure across the country, covering rail, road, airports, seaports. Rail and water transport grew by over 40% and 27% respectively. The 284-kilometer Kano-Katsina-Maradi standard gauge rail project and the Kaduna-Kano rail line are nearing completion. Work is progressing well on Legacy Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway and Sokoto-Badagry Highway. The Federal Executive Council recently approved $3 billion to complete the Eastern Railway project. The world is taking notice of our efforts. Sovereign credit rating agencies have upgraded our outlook for Nigeria, recognizing our improved economic fundamentals. Our stock market is experiencing an unprecedented boom, rising from all-share index of 55,000 points in May 2003 to 142,000 points as of September 26, 2025. At its last MPC meeting, the central bank slashed interest rate for the first time in 5 years, expressing confidence in our country's macroeconomic stability. On security, we are working diligently to enhance national security, ensuring our economic experiences improved growth and performance. The officers and men of our armed forces and other security agencies are working tirelessly and making significant sacrifices to keep us safe. They are winning the war against terrorism, banditry, and other violent crimes. We see their victories in their blood and sweat to stamp out Boko Haram terror in the northeast, IPOB ESN terror in southeast, and banditry and kidnapping. We must continue to celebrate their gallantry and salute their courage on behalf of a grateful nation. Peace has returned to 100 of our liberated communities in the northwest and northeast, and thousands of our people have returned safely to their homes. I have a message for you, you young people. You are the future and the greatest asset of this blessed country. You must continue to dream big, innovate, and conquer more territories in your various fields of science, technology, sport, and art and creative sector. Our administration, through policies and funding, we continue to give you wings to fly sky high. We created NEL Fund to support students with loans for their educational pursuits. Approximately 510,000 students across 32 states of the Federation, including FCT, have benefited from this initiative, covering 228 higher institutions. As of September 10, the total loan disbursed was 99.5 billion, while the upkeep allowance stood as 44.7 billion. Credit Corp, another initiative of our administration, has granted over 153,000 Nigerians 30 billion affordable loans for vehicles, solar energy, home upgrades, digital devices, and more. Youth credit, which I promised last June, is a reality, with tens of thousands of NYSC members now active beneficiaries of consumer credit for resettlement. Under our Renew Hope agenda, we promise to build a Nigeria where every young person, regardless of background, as an equitable opportunity to access a better future. Thus, the investment in digital and creative enterprise, IDICE program, the Bank of Industry is driving the program in collaboration with the African Development Bank, the French Development Agency, and the Islamic Development Bank. This initiative is at the cusp of implementation. Our last 2 years, we have collaborated with our partners to launch the program, supporting our young builders and dreamers in the technology and creative sector. This is a message of hope, fellow Nigerians. I've always candidly acknowledged that this reform have come with some temporary pains. The biting effects of inflation and the rising cost of living remains a significant concern to our government. However, the alternative of allowing our country to descend into economic chaos or bankruptcy was not an option. Our macroeconomic progress has proven that our sacrifices have not been in vain. Together, we are laying a new foundation cast in concrete, not on quicksand. The accurate measure of our success will not be limited to economic statistics alone, but rather in the food on our family tables, the quality of education our children receive, the electricity in our homes, and the security in our communities. Let me assure you of administration's determination to ensure that the resources we have saved and the stability we have built are channeled into these critical areas. Today, the governors at the state level and the local government's autonomy are yielding more development right in our face. Therefore, on this 65th anniversary of our independence, my message is hope and a call to action. The federal government will continue to do its part to fix the plumbing in our economy. Now, we must all turn on the taps of productivity, innovation, and enterprise, just like the Ministry of Interior has done with our travel passports, by quickening the processing. In this regard, I urge the subnational entities to join us in nation building. Let us be a nation of producers, not just consumers. Let us farm our land and build factories to process our produce. Let us patronize made in Nigeria. I say Nigeria first. All the goods, let us pay our taxes as well. Finally, let all hands be on deck. Let us believe once more in the boundless potential of our great nation. With Almighty God on our side, I can assure you that the dawn of a new, prosperous, self-reliant is here in Nigeria. Happy 65th Independence Anniversary. And may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Amen.